Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Testing, testing. Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Testing, testing. Okay, I think we're about ready to start, right? Switch over to this, and switch over to this, and he should be live. Should be able to hear me, and everything should be fine, right? Well, that's the idea at any rate. Let's see what the stream looks like. I'm curious. It's not terrible, quality-wise, I mean. About as good as I can get it, currently. Although the frame rate's a bit, well, I am streaming at a lower frame rate, that's fair enough, I suppose. Can I, really quickly? Yeah, that's the best I can get it. Okay, you know what? It's not terrible. It's something. Turn volume up a tiny bit, and there we go. We're ready to begin. Ooh! So, how's everyone doing? I have been feeling a bit under the weather recently, and had a fever last night. And felt a bit icky during the entire day. And then it sort of went away. Like, instantly. Just stopped. And so I thought, you know what? Might not be a terrible idea to use the situation as a whole and maybe grind a little bit of Borderlands and talk about some of the gaming news and some of the stuff that's been happening in the gaming industry, because okay, thank you, there we go. Found the button, no worries. Talk about some of the stuff that's been happening in the gaming world recently, because it'll be a bit difficult to make a video about it. And I don't really intend on making a script and like a proper sort of news segment or whatever. It's not really something I like doing. But let me just switch out keyboard, sorry for the noise. Just gonna really quickly do that. Yeah, okay, there we go. So like I said, it's not really something I think I'd do a great job of, and so thought why not make a quick little stream, talk about it a little bit, see where the conversation leads us, and also, I think Borderlands is a great game to play in the background during the entire thing. It's, well, Borderlands. And it's the best Borderlands, which, perhaps maybe A little bit controversial of a statement. But I stand by it. This is the best Borderlands. So what are we going to do? I want to go to Lynchwood, I think, right? Another thing to do in the dust. I also have a lot of things to do in Opportunity. I want to go to Lynchwood, though. Lynchwood's fun. Let's do that. Alright, anywho, let's begin with the gaming news segment. And, well, I'd like to start off with Oblivion, because I streamed it a little bit. It was just sort of testing out the stream and the video quality and how much I can upload and etc, etc. I didn't really talk about the game at all, really. And I wanted to mention it briefly in that channel update, but I didn't really get around to it, so I guess now's as good a time as any, right? It's the biggest piece of news out there, I think, right now. Everyone's playing Oblivion, at least until, you know, the next Elder Scrolls or something equally as big comes along, and it's great. It's great. It's a really, really fun game. But it's the same old Oblivion that we all know and love, right? Minus a few little tweaks and details there here and there, but you can't really call it a different game, right? It's Oblivion. Fair enough. The problem I have with it is the price point. It's really expensive, right? Is it just me? It's a bit much. I understand graphically the game looks gorgeous. It's absolutely, you know, phenomenal and all that good stuff. Don't get me wrong, I'm with it. But a bit much, isn't it, though? I mean, it's at the price point where you expect a AAA, well, maybe not quite AAA, but almost AAA game to be. Maybe a AAA game on like a sale recently after coming out, right? Like a few weeks maybe after coming out, or a month or so after coming out, like a smaller sale. I know what I expect the price to be, and yet here it's a remaster for that kind of price. A bit much. I think for the amount of content that is in the game that's new, it doesn't really deserve that price point. I'd much appreciate it if the game came in with a few more integrated mods from Oblivion. Or maybe some new quests, or maybe some new mechanics, or, I don't know, some other improvements, and then, oh, it wouldn't be really a remaster, would it? This depends, I suppose. You know, it'd be really good if you could pick between some mechanics to have them, you know, the traditional way and then the new way. Like the enemy leveling and the gear leveling, which is a bit... well, I should say it's a bit controversial in Oblivion. Some people love it, some people hate it. Or the lockpicking system, which everyone's having a problem with, which I don't personally hate, but it's fine, right? Like, it takes a little bit of getting used to, but maybe have the Skyrim lockpicking system, and then if you don't want the Skyrim lockpicking system, you know, you can switch to the Oblivion one in the settings menu or something. Like, little improvements like that would go a long way, I think, to justifying the price, which I don't really see as fair at this point. But it's a great game, don't get me wrong. And now that I've fixed my PC and I can properly play it, I'm gonna enjoy it quite a bit. That's all good and fair, right? But we will see, I suppose. Is it a bit loud? I feel like the... Yeah, you know what? Put this down to like a... I'll put this up to 5, I'll put this down to 2.
What was that? Swag.
Make it a little bit quieter. Anyways, that's my hot take on Oblivion. It's great, but I don't really think it justifies the price, and I appreciate that we're building, or rather Bethesda's building up trust points in a manner of speaking with the community, that, you know, they're building up goodwill and all that. But that's great for Bethesda, don't get me wrong. Is that random legendary rocket launcher I just got? It is, isn't it? Hippity happity, get off my property, right? Bustling bunny, 41,000 damage. Plus explodes like a grenade when thrown. Yeah, it doesn't hold a candle to the 84,000 that I have with the other rocket launcher. It is a legendary though, so, yeah. Fair enough, I guess. That's pretty amazing. Okay. Anywho, we're going to unbox some special weapon drops and stuff. Some shift keys towards the end of the stream, I reckon. Where was I going with this? So yeah, that's Oblivion. You know, it's alright. It's more than alright, but kind of pricey. Although, I mean, that said, once it goes down on sale, which it will inevitably at some point, I think that it'll be well worth it. At any rate, oh, you know what would be also cool? If you could get like a $10 discount if you already own Oblivion. That would be amazing, wouldn't it? I think that'd be a really cool gesture to the fans as well, and, you know, building up reputation and not reputation, but like buying goodwill with the community, which I think Bethesda kind of really desperately needs at this point. So yeah.
There are 3 things I want to do. 1,
I don't think I was in this area like ever before. Or with this character, I mean. Went through Lynchwood once or twice. It's one of those that you generally skip, unless you're doing like a full playthrough where you want to go through every single area and everything. Yeah, I remember the train bit here. I haven't played that much of Lynchwood. So it's kind of a newish area for me. I don't know much about it. Alright, awesome. So yeah, that was Oblivion. It's good. It's really good. But isn't it a bit also kind of sad that the best we can do in terms of RPGs recently has been remastering old stuff? It's like, it's a conversation we gotta have, right? Don't get me wrong. I feel like we're at a bit of a creative block, writer's block, if you will, something like that, when it comes to good games. That most of the games that seem to do well nowadays are either re-implementations of old ideas or straight up remasters and copies and stuff like that. And it ties into the next topic I wanted to talk about, Tempest Rising. Right? It's basically Command and Conquer. A mix of various Command and Conquer games. And it's great, don't get me wrong. But you could argue that it's a reskin of some of the Command and Conquer stuff. Like Tiberium Wars or whatever. Although it mixes like a few things, but I think King's Wrath and Tiberium Wars would be the first ones up there. You could just put Command & Conquer 3 skins on it, and it would be really difficult to tell which game it is. Right? I mean, yeah, sure, the economy's a little bit different, and yeah, sure, some of the units are a little bit different and all that, fine, but it looks more like a CNC3 mod than a new game. And Tempest Rising is great, don't get me wrong, it's amazing, but what I'm trying to say is, what the hell just hit me? Jesus. Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, like, Command & Conquer 3 was interesting, it was good, it was fun and all that, because it was the first to do it. This is a bit like I feel like we're going backwards, or we're you know, in the same spot. We're not really doing anything new, and it's, I mean, on the one hand, I'm happy that RTS is coming back. You have Warno, you have Broken Arrow, you have Tempest Rising, and it's different flavors of RTS, and I'm glad that the genre isn't dead and looks like to be having a resurgence of some description. Because generally base building RTSs have died and haven't really been a thing for a long time. At least not in the mainstream sense. Like, you get games here and there occasionally, don't get me wrong, but hasn't really been the same since the days of Kane's Wrath. I think that was the last big send-off for base-building RTS games, and then Command & Conquer 4 happened, and, well, we don't talk about Command & Conquer 4, but ever since then, I feel like the best we could do is just sort of try and remake those games. And I feel the same for a lot of games out there. Like, you could make an argument with some of the classics out there as well, like, Dragon Age. Dragon Age hasn't made a good Dragon Age game since Dragon Age Origins. But, yeah, that I suppose is a bit of a special case scenario. Especially the recent one, Jesus. But, anywho, you could also say the same about Fallout. Like, is it just me, or the best we can do right now for a Fallout game is to remaster Fallout New Vegas? Because I don't really see anyone making a better Fallout game with their recent track record. And so, you ask me right now, would I prefer Fallout 5 over Fallout New Vegas Remastered? I have to sit down and think about it for a long while, right? And I'll probably tell you the New Vegas Remaster. Which is a bit sad, because I'm hoping for New Vegas 2 at some point in my life. I'm hoping to live long enough to see that game come to life. Will it? I don't know, maybe, and I'm not holding out too much hope, but it could, and that's sort of the stuff that I'm hoping for, not a remaster of all my favorite games. As much as I do welcome them, like, I would pay $50 to $60 for a New Vegas remaster, especially if it has all the modding,
That wasn't so difficult.
freedom and capacity and stuff for, or not for, but rather as New Vegas did. I would love that. But at the same time, it leaves a slightly bitter feeling, at least as far as I'm concerned, that it's... you know... We're lacking in creativity, I feel like. We're lacking in the ability to make something new that's maybe equally as good. Not those kinds of dangerous.
That looks sad as hell, all chained up like that. Maybe you can blast that chain and let him loose. Apologies in advance, Vic. Oh, that little feller looks wounded. His mom must have abandoned him or some such.
Oh, we gotta save the little puppy now, don't we?
But he seems nice enough.
Yeah. We're dropping everything. We're going to save the puppy. Find the puppy medicine. Where's the puppy medicine? Is it going to be here? No. Of course, it's going to be up there when it's difficult to reach, and I don't know how to get there. At any rate, though, if Bethesda is willing to make 5 or 6 more of these remasters, I'm more than willing to pay for them. I'm just trying to make the argument that maybe we could use a few new games that are of the same quality or better. And I don't really see that happening. He's going to blow himself up, isn't he? Damn it, he didn't, but that would have been really funny.
That's what you get.
Although I will leave I will leave that topic alone with just one last thing. Morrowind remastered. I dare say, like, twice as good as Oblivion remastered in my eyes. Because Morrowind's amazing. Once you get over the mechanics, and once you learn the mechanics of just how different it is as an RPG to most other the Elder Scrolls games that you've played, and it's completely different, then, oh yeah. But if they do make a Morrowind remaster, no quality of life changes, please. Like, basically none, right? I don't want a compass. I don't want a waypoint to everything. I don't want a giant, green circle on the screen telling me where everything is. Because one of the best things about Morrowind, in my opinion, was the lack of information. Like, it would tell you, go to this town and find that person. And you have no idea where the town is, and you have no idea who the person is. You need to find them. You need to actually do the investigating, right? So first of all, you need to find the town. Well, how do I get to the town? Well, you know, just follow the road and then cross the bridge and then go left. Okay, and you got to remember that because the world map isn't just immediately going to show you where the town is. And I absolutely love that about Morrowind. It encourages natural, organic exploration that you need to do that just makes sense. Whereas I feel like the majority of modern games would just put a giant green arrow over the person's head and like 3 arrows pointing you down where you need to go to find the person to move the quest forward. Not a big fan of that, right? No, are you gonna just eat it? That. You know what? Fair enough.
He looks hungry. Maybe get him some skag chews.
Get him some what? Skag chews. What's a
Couple of you have learned that
interesting
name
for them? All right.
Just a pretty face who got this town as an
At any rate,
gift.
that was.
You know where to find me.
That was the whole Elder Scrolls bit. Now, Steam also has a sale for strategy games. Oh, sorry, for war games. And I kind of want to go through some of them, but maybe not all of them.
The sheriff is offering
I think it's great. I think it's great for the wargaming. Wargaming, not the company. Wargaming, the genre, right? Fans out there, we're gonna have some new players. It's good value. It's a good sale. Everything, yeah, etc., etc. Total War Warhammer is, I think, on sale as well. Although none of the DLC, as far as I was able to see. It's just the base game, which, you know, fair enough. I have sales for DLC all the time, more or less. And then Broken Arrow's coming out, and then I saw the price point for Broken Arrow, and I was a bit... Yeah, it's a bit disappointed, because I thought it would be around the €30 mark. No, it's the 60s. In fact, for me, it's 58.9 euros, which is a weird price point, but okay. Not exactly 60, but not really any meaningfully different either. It's kind of strange, I suppose. But at any rate, be that as it may. One unspelled skill point. I do have one unspelled skill point. Spend it on something. I'm not paying too much attention to the build. I have stuff, right? I think that one have to go down anyway, so...
Another clean.
Man, snipers are the most fun weapon to use in this game, honestly. They really are. At any rate, the War Games sale is great, and I've been thinking about picking something up. I've played a bit of Warno. I got a press copy of that one, so I maybe could grab some DLC for that. It's fun, but I'm waiting on a few mods to get updated before I really get into that game. There's a couple of ones that I really like, but they're currently out of date, so yeah, I'll wait for that. At any rate, I was thinking about Foxhold, and on many levels it appeals to me. The one thing where it doesn't really appeal to me is okay, that is not going to work at this range. One thing where it doesn't really appeal to me is the time. How much time do I realistically need to invest into that game? And how much of a commitment is it, I suppose, right? Because I know permanent wars and everything, and outfits or whatever, because I can see it already. That was funny. I can see it already. The most fun you're going to have in that game is in an outfit, or in a squad, or in whatever, like communicating with other people. And doing stuff together. Solo, it's not going to be all that much fun. Like, the most fun you're going to have with it is that. However, I have a job, right? And it's not like I want to really focus on that game all that much. It's more like sort of a casual thing that I would do. But it is on a hefty discount, and so yeah, it's one of those things where I'm kind of afraid to get into it because maybe I'll love it that much. I had a similar problem with PlanetSide. I love PlanetSide so much that it just sort of occupied all my free time. If I wasn't playing, I was thinking about it, and if I wasn't, you know, online, I was coordinating some other stuff, and we had a massive outfit. Paratroopers was our thing, or at least a type of paratroopers. It was the meta, I think, for a long time to use those galaxy dropships.
A couple of you have learned that handsome
Drop on
Jack's
top
my
of
boyfriend.
spawns and just
If you're worried,
you know,
that
stop
means
the enemy
I'm just a
reinforcements and
pretty
stuff.
face who got this town
Kind of a
as an
suicidal
anniversary
mission,
gift.
but
Well, you know where to find me.
it's what made the difference in whether you would cap a spot or not. So we were the 3rd Terran Templar heir. Has got me thinking now, in retrospect, what happened to the other 2? Yeah, if we're the 3rd, what happened to the 1st and 2nd? I don't think there were any. But whatever, it might have been a thing from Blindside 1, right? I know we had some veterans there, and I think the guy that made the outfit was, well, really into it, let's say. Anywho,
Critical.
it occupied a lot of my free time, and it occupied a lot of mental space, and I get the feeling that Foxhole's one of those games. But it's a good sale. Don't get me wrong. And I think the most important thing about it is it'll let new people experience these games. And the fact that we have a sale focused around these pretty niche, I think, and specific type of games. Like, yeah, I wouldn't say Broken Arrow or Warno or Foxhole appeal to a mass audience by any stretch of the imagination. The fact that Steam gave them a sale, gave these types of games a sale, I think is great for sort of making people think a little bit more about these games and drawing some more attention to them.
Every day, the sheriff
And I
of
think that's
Ridgewood
pretty
says
bloody awesome,
whatever
so,
ingredient
yeah.
she's yanked from the- Mine's back to Jack.
It's not what I want to do. Oh, you won't let me switch until the dialogue.
Stops
Okay.
Today, you're gonna blow up the train that she uses to transport the stuff. Get to the demolition depository.
Mm-hmm.
The sheriff has asked me, Deputy Winger, to remind you all of the individual punishments for breaking her 283 laws. I'd read the whole list.
The
but I'm just gonna go
283
ahead and
laws.
Save us all some time.
Fascinating.
The punishment for everything is death. So please keep your head down.
I've always wanted to duel a vault hunter.
Okay. Tell you what, though. You need to take a sip of water for a second, but I would also like to open the aforementioned sale and go through it a little bit. And demos. Yes, nearly forgot about those, yeah. And demos. Demos are very important. And so it lets people try these games out. I mean, win-win, right? And you can even see PlanetSide 2 here gets a spot, even though it's a free-to-play game. It gets a spot on the... Well, it's recommended for me, but... why is PlanetSide 2 recommended for me? Because I never played it on Steam, did I? Or maybe not very much. Yeah, I don't know if I ever played it on Steam. Yeah, I played it through the launcher thing, because I was... Most of my hours were in the beta for the game, so, yeah. Claim your free... Oh, the avatar thing. Yeah, I'd like some free customization and cosmetic stuff. you very much, Steam. War Games Fest. There you go. Well, nothing else I've done. Hopefully, some on a service you can go and claim your free War Games stuff. At any rate, special offers. Star Wars, May the 4th be with you. That's also on sale. God, there's so many good games here. Knights of the Old Republic, Knights of the Old Republic 2, Jedi Academy, Jedi Outcast, Dark Forces was also... That was great, honestly. The Force Unleashed saga, those were honestly really good. I liked both of them. It was not very Star Warsy, but I liked them a fair bit. Just switch over to this while we're talking about it. As I can, right? There's something you shouldn't know. Just check. Is there something that you shouldn't see here? No, I think it's all good, right? There's no personal information. So there you go. Yeah, there's a bunch of Star Wars stuff on sale. Battlefront is on sale, $2. Freaking amazing! All of this, it's freaking amazing. So that's for May the 4th, and then we also have the War Games sale, which is this. Look at it. Guns of Icarus Online as well. I think I tested this game out at some point. I think it was on this Steam account, but yeah, that was fun. Ages ago, though. Sorry about that. Yeah, 2012, it says. It's a long time ago. And then Arma 3, Call to Arms, Gates of Hell, solid game. Easy Red 2, never played it, but it looks pretty fun. Chivalry 2, Foxhole, here it is. Can I try a demo for Foxhole? And how do you do that? Because, well, this is going to be a bit osh and rude and whatever. I don't try demos much, I'm going to be honest with you, because a lot of the time if I'm interested in the game, sometimes I get it for free for, making a video on it and stuff. And if I don't, then I'll probably just buy it and then, yeah. Okay. Foxhole came out in 2022? Really? It's only 3 years old? Because I was sure the game was like at least a few years older than that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't think there's a demo for this, at least not that I can see. Unfortunate. What do we have? Foxhole Syrian Warfare. This was this was a good game. Aged like fine milk, I would say, given everything, but this is actually a decent game. What's it rated like? Yeah, 86, 85%. This is actually a really decent game. Red Orchestra, I was obsessed with this game back in the day. It was my first hardcore shooter. This is it. Lugia Squad. Squad is also on sale. God, Squad is so good. I have it on a different count. Man, there are ample good games here, and then of course Tempest Rising. What is it? What are the reviews like? 90% positive. Yeah. God, I have some controversial opinions about this game. I recognize that it's good. I really do. But I have some controversial opinions on it. Okay. We'll get into that. Generally, for developers have granted themselves permission to scan parts of your active RAM while the game is running. Take full-size screenshots of the game client. Yep, even if you got private stuff visible. Yeah, of the game client doesn't mean you screenshot. You can't have private stuff visible inside the game client. Collect a full list of your installed software, including drivers and OS details. Grab all DLLs tied to the game process, versions and checksums, and the kicker, they can send all this to third parties. Yikes. Okay, well, this is not where I wanted the stream to go, but okay. It seems a bit... Reads his first elu and exaggerates too. Yeah, this doesn't seem... I mean, it seems like a standard anti-cheat kind of thing. More so than... Oh no, they're stealing all my details and everything, which... Well, there's a bit of both in that, I suppose. Right. Yeah, okay, I'll talk about this game in a minute. Let me just switch back to game capture. There we go. We can talk about Tempest Rising. I think it's the second biggest game that has come out recently. And I will do that. I will just leave you with... Excuse me for a second. I will just leave you with this screen for about a minute or so while I go and refill my water and take some medicine, because I sort of feel the fever coming back. Ooh. And we're back. Switch to this. Back in the game. So, give the game a second to change the... oh, Jesus. Change the frame rate. I mean, at least on my end. It sticks it at 30, I think. Once you tab in and out once or twice. Not really supposed to do. We can get back in now. Oh, okay, it's fine. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it does matter. It's choppy as hell when...
This is Deputy
I'm saying when
Winger.
you're watching and you're
Please
playing
don't be
it.
caught
Eh.
outside after hours.
At any rate,
Sheriff's just looking for excuses.
Tempest Rising. God, do I have some controversial opinions about that game. It's really well liked, clearly, by the community, and I think what it's doing for the RTS genre as a whole is amazing, because it's sort of bringing it back. And I appreciate the hell out of that, don't get me wrong. But it's not really for me, if that makes sense. I liked Command & Conquer 3, I liked Kane's Wrath, and I liked Red Alert, and all those games. I really did. I feel like Tempest Rising is close to those games, but doesn't quite get there in terms of specifically the units and the combat. What are you talking about? Isn't that like one of the most universally well-liked things about the game, that it's combat-wise really close to the classic and really great strategy games of the time, and etc, etc. Yeah, it is, except there's a few nitpicks I have about it. It feels a bit spammy, right? It feels, especially in skirmishes, it feels like I'm spamming units really, really quickly, rather than trying to make strategic and tactical decision. Strategic, so-and-so. Tactical, very much so, right? In the type of units that you have, they generally feel like pretty interchangeable. There's no hard counters, right? It feels like you always need to create a mix of two different types of units, and have that be like, oh, I don't know, on the one hand,
Good going. Now grab the bomb. Damn, you strong.
what the hell?
You're gonna put it on a collision course with the sheriff's...
Oh, the bomb's ticking. Lovely. Yeah. Gotta hurry then, I guess. At any rate, where was I going with this? Yeah, so, it kind of feels like you always have to create a mix of some infantry and some tanks, and it doesn't really even matter that much about the units themselves. It's just a mix of, you know, something that'll hit the other the opponent with rockets or tank shells, and something that'll hit him with machine guns, and then that's about it. Right, that's kind of what the game feels like, combat-wise, whereas in Command & Conquer Generals, it was a bit different, in especially with the factions and stuff. In Command & Conquer 3, it felt more like, I don't know, there was more of a hard counter, right? For example, the flame tank could clear out buildings in literally half a second. So it doesn't matter that you had your best infantry unit in that building, it is now dead. Half a second after it got in touch with the flame tank, right? Here in this game, it's... I mean, sure they have flame tanks as well, and yeah, there's emulating a lot of stuff in that sense, but there's not as many hard counters. It feels more focused on speed and ATM rather than APM, actions per minute, not the bank device. Yeah. It feels like it's more sort of focused on that rather than. Does not get pushed out of the boundaries of the map. Be lovely. And I'm not the biggest fan of it. Also, what I'm not the biggest fan of is how expendable the units are. But that's entirely a personal thing, right? That has nothing to do with me. Sorry, that is quite the opposite. That has everything to do with me rather than, what the hell?
You barked the explosion? Damn it, we missed our shot.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I balked the explosion. Didn't realize I was... Did not realize that was a thing. Sorry. Wasn't really paying attention. Right, let's do the other tasks in the area, and then we'll get back to it. It's an entirely personal preference. I much prefer games that force me to... How do I put this? Take care of my units, or maybe not force me, but at least give me the opportunity to be really pedantic about my units, about their placement, about their survivability, healing them, and you know, all that sort of stuff. Semi-recently, like a couple of weeks ago, I've played through Firestorm, and that's Command & Conquer 2. And that's a really great game, and you know what one of my favorite parts of the campaign was? As much as I love Nod as a whole and their storyline and everything, and the characters there, and you know, it's so iconic and awesome, etc., etc. One of my favorite gameplay-wise campaign was of any strategy game out there was the GDI campaign for Command & Conquer 2. And the reason it's one of my favorites is because it lets you micro units really, really well. In fact, there are several missions that are just about microing units. And more so than just that, there's also... God, the distortion is so bad on this, and I can barely see where I'm aiming. There's also tons of different ways to heal your units, and to micro them, and to make sure you get every single bit of resources out of them as you can, right? And that's what I really, really liked about that game. GDI have access to medics, which heal the infantry. GDI have access to repair stations, which repair vehicles. And to be fair, Nod also has access to repairing their vehicles, not their infantry, although there is one type of infantry that heals once you put it on top of some Tiberium. But yeah, so there you go, that's the whole... That's all the details about healing units in that game, not that you've asked for them, but there you go. In Tempest Rising, units automatically heal once they get to maximum veterancy, but it takes a long time, and it's not really a big part of the game. Although you can heal units there as well, don't get me wrong. It doesn't matter that much. At least not in the campaign, I've noticed. Sure, you can micro some units out of the way to heal them up and then put them back in the fight, but... Maybe it's just because I'm not very good at the game and slow. Half the time it felt like it's not really worth it. That it's better to just deploy the healing units in combat with the other ones to give your units a little bit of extra oomph, rather than trying to micro like that. Because the amount of time it takes me to micro units back and forth between armies, I could have just built new ones. And yeah. Not the most fun thing ever, I would say. Which is a shame, but, you know. Okay, what do I need to sell out of all of this? Pretty much everything below this line, right? I also have to sell some of the stuff up here, but I'm not sure which is good and which isn't. I need some more time to look at it, and I don't really want to do that right now. We'll just sell the extra stuff that I don't need. At any rate, that was, yeah. That was my experience with Tempest Rising. And there's also one more thing that really... Oh, okay. Is it the gun? It's the gun. That's why it's cursed. Oh, that's really funny. Nowhere did it say that. That's pretty hilarious. It's not even that bad.
Returning darkness.
Shut up!
Let's lock you as well. Lovely. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, sorry for the interruption there, was my experience with Tempest Rising, and coming into it, expecting, well, maybe I had different expectations than what the game delivered in terms of what the game was going to be like, fair enough, but on top of that, I am, well, I was at least, a pretty passionate StarCraft 2 enjoyer. I feel like the game's sort of stuck in between Command & Conquer and StarCraft 2. Because in StarCraft 2, you don't really micro your... of course you micro your units to not take unnecessary damage and stuff like that, but you don't really take care of each and every Marine, make sure that none of them die or whatever. It's... like, not really, right? It's more about spamming units. But in that spamming of units, there are several tactical and several strategic decisions that you need to make. Namely, what unit do I spam? What build do I go for? And often tactics revolve around a particular type of unit or a particular combination of units. One that I really enjoyed as Zerg was the Roach Hydra combo, right? And so you would focus all of your production and your resource extraction around building lots of Roaches and building lots of Hydras, which meant very specific things. It meant you needed a specific amount of gas and a specific amount of minerals. And you don't want to waste, you don't want to collect unnecessarily a whole bunch of gas, because that meant that you could have collected more minerals. So there's a ratio there. In Tempest Rising, there's just one type of resource. Fair enough, it's like Command & Conquer in that sense, okay, but Roach Hydra was a combo, right? Marine Marauder Medevac, the MMM, was also like a go-to for a very long time for the Terran races. And so you would combine those three units and you would use them, and that was a thing, right? In Tempest Rising, it really doesn't feel like you make those kinds of decisions. It really feels like you just spam all the units available and create a mishmash of everything, and that's about it. Like, you're done, right? It also feels like some of the units are pretty bloody useless. For example, the basic infantryman. Yeah, yikes, I know, right? In StarCraft 2, the basic infantryman, the basic marine, doesn't really go out of fashion, right? No, it really doesn't. Maybe in the super late game, if you've been duking it out on the map for like I don't know, like an hour or an hour and a half or something, maybe, but at that point you're going to be running out of resources on the map as well. And so, yeah, you have all the research and you have all the badass units and everything, but you're running out of resources to build them, and so in the late game, sometimes Marines were also pretty important. It was very rare, don't get me wrong, but sometimes it happened. Tempest Rising feels like the balancing's a bit weird in that sense, that on the one hand, I really want to build some of these cool units, but a lot of these units a lot of the other units, seem a bit useless. I'll give you an example for the Dynasty campaign, the little rocket trucks. Why, exactly? Because here's the thing, I thought they would be used as anti-vehicle units, right? That's sort of what the game, especially in the campaign, makes them out to be. Like, you have these, and you use them to get rid of enemy vehicles. Yeah, but I have my tanks of my own. And it really doesn't seem that the little truck thing is any good when it comes to anti-vehicle combat. So I can just put a tank instead. And it's kind of better. It's beefier, it takes more damage, it soaks up more damage, it deals pretty much the same amount of damage. And as a result of all that, it's also easier to use, right? Because you can heal it, you can pull it back and stuff. The little truck... sorry, I'm sneezing. The little truck thing doesn't really seem all that useful in retrospect, right? And it's not just about the little truck thing from Tempest Rising. I think that it speaks to the problem of the balancing in that game as a whole. It's not all that great. And it feels like a little bit... It feels a little bit like brainless spamming, I think, a lot of the time, rather than actually making those tactical decisions that you would see in StarCraft 2, for example, and all its various expansions and stuff. So that was kind of my take on it, I guess, or that was kind of what I got out of it. And there was that one very, very annoying situation that was just... I think, again, I'm using the word maybe too much, but in retrospect, it was a little bit funny, but for me, it was, at the time, I was like, oh, this makes me not want to play the game anymore. And the situation was, I think it was the 4th mission, or the 5th mission for the Dynasty. It started off incredibly fun, and it really appealed to my sense of, well, not sense, but really, maybe it really appealed to the stuff that I like in RTS games. And that was a base defense mission where you would get attacked from 2 different sides, and you would get a little indicator showing you that, okay, the enemy's coming in about, 10 seconds or something. So you would have a little bit of time to prepare. Not too much, but you would have a little bit of time to prepare. And that was really, really fun for me. So you would set up defenses, you would build walls, you would really get to base build. It was almost like a city builder, right? And you would get to prepare your units, and you would set up like layered defenses, healers in the back and everything. It was really fun. And then on top of that, you have to counterattack as well. So once the attack is over, ideally, you want to counterattack and destroy the base where the attack came from. Pretty awesome, right? It was a really well-designed mission. It was really fun, and it's one of those missions where you can sort of do them at your own speed, in that you can take your time with it and, play like a really Turtle-style defense, or you could, be very aggressive, sort of run the whole mission on the knife's edge, basically barely making it through the defenses and attacking really quickly and being aggressive and trying to get resources in no man's land and stuff like that. Really well designed. Until the halfway point. Oh, what happened at the halfway point, Juggernaut? Well, dear viewer, glad you asked. What happened at the halfway point is that the game decided to airdrop an entire army right in the center of my base. Hostile, I should clarify, with no ability to stop them from being airdropped there. It was one of those off-map support sort of things that you call in, and there's no way of preventing it, and they just bypass all the defenses that I was making for the past 20 minutes or so, and they just drop right on top of my head. Oh, well, maybe that was the twisting point of the campaign. No, it was just a random thing. It wasn't like a scripted event where the mission would go a certain way. No, it was one of those power-ups that the AI gets, and they could do it multiple times throughout the mission. And there was nothing I can do about it. And so you have me playing a particular way for 30 minutes, enjoying myself, only to have all that be completely shattered by something I didn't know could happen. And all of a sudden, all the fun I was having, I can no longer play like that, right? You forced me to change my playstyle into what exactly? And there's the problem, right? There's the rub, there's the kick. It's not about me not being able to play a certain way anymore. It's about what I'm now forced to play as, if that makes sense. Right, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna... Give me a second, okay? I'm gonna restart the game, I think. Standby mode really quickly, because the frame rate's killing me. Let's see if this makes it any better. Yeah, it did. It absolutely did. Okay, much better. And so, what do I have to change my playstyle now, into now, game? Well, just spamming units. It's like, really? Yep. That's all you gotta do. Now you just spam units, that's it. You spam AA, you spam tanks. Infantry seems... Given the fact that I have a few ways of healing my vehicles and no way of healing my infantry seems just useless, even though I can make a fair amount of them. Given the enemy's army composition, they also seem pretty useless, because the enemy usually fields a good bit of infantry at the front, followed by tanks in the rear. And both are fairly easily dealt with by my own vehicles, so now an entire production tab of infantry for this mission in particular seems kind of useless. And I am supposed to do base defense, right? That was the whole idea of the mission. And now, instead of doing base defense, you have me spamming units and running from one corner of the map to the other by oncoming waves, and that's it. It's not much of a defense. It's more like a meeting engagement, right? We sort of meet halfway between my base and their base, and that's it. And I don't get to do much defense. So at that point you go, what the hell's the point of all the turrets, the walls, the everything? And the truth of the matter is, there's not much of a point to it, I'm afraid. It's kind of just there, I guess. And yeah, you're not really going to be able to use it, because you put down defenses in one spot, the enemy just airdrops behind them. Or what, Juggernaut, could you just put defenses everywhere and cover the whole base? No, I'll die. You know, defenses are expensive. And maybe not so much in terms of resources, although they are in terms of resources as well, but they're also expensive in terms of time. Time is also a resource, and they take a long while to build. And I feel like I'm making it sound like the game's impossibly difficult because of these things. It's not the difficulty. It's not a difficulty issue. It's a playstyle issue that I don't like this, and it's not very fun. And it feels like for the past 5 missions I've just been spamming units, and that's it. And it's not really for me, let me just say. And so, yeah.
Get to it before the train leaves.
Let me tell you something about Brick. We snagged him during the fall of New Haven. He never sold out his friends, but his puppy, it was this little brown thing. Once I wrapped my hands around its neck, Brick lost it. Stop. You could barely hear the crack of the bone over his sobs. I mean actual sobbing, like a baby.
And now I have to actually focus, I think.
Please stop.
What the hell was that? Because,
No!
okay. A little bit over-leveled for this area. I really shouldn't be struggling with it, and it's not the enemies, it's the task.
Until it's right on top of the train. Hell yeah!
There you go.
No more iridium coming out of Lynchwood now, that's for sure.
Alright.
Let me know when you're ready for the next thing.
Gotta say, that's pretty irritating. The iridium mine's half the reason this town exists. Well, credit where credit's due. You really know how to push my buttons. I hear that after Brick escaped our custody, he tracked down the guy.
Okay, wasn't that difficult after all, was it?
Somebody named Shep Sanders. Brick gouged his eyes out with his thumbs and cracked his skull open like an egg, all while poor Shep screamed for mercy. Her friend Roland kicked him out of Sanctuary after that. You Vault Hunters think you're different from bandits, but you're not.
Okay, cool, whatever. Breaking the bank. That is in... How do I actually get to that? It's actually nearby, okay.
Please stop.
keep forgetting that this SMG is nice. In Spain, stays mainly on the pain. There's a better joke for that. Lives in the state of Spain, but the S is silent. There you go. Go with this. And is the flanker any better? I don't think the flanker's much better. It's 39. This pistol's insanely good, even though it seems like a really low-level gun. Oh, I'm out of inventory capacity. Of course I am. Of course I am. Didn't it pull the other guy? It did not pull the other guy. Oh, that was painful. I felt that through the screen. At any rate, though, more or less, that's it as far as the news segment for games is concerned. I went over the majority of stuff I wanted to talk about. And yeah. Ultimately, I was also was ready to make a video for Tempest Rising. And then I realized it's not quite the game for me. It's not just that one mission that sort of tilted me, but in general the playstyle of it and everything is doesn't sit quite right with me, I think. And having played Command & Conquer 2, where I would really try and take care of most of my units, I then went back to Command & Conquer 3 and then, try to really do my diligence about Tempest Rising, and thought that it's not the games themselves. A large chunk of it is down to the fact that I have changed considerably. And so, yeah, I think I've grown to prefer stuff like Broken Arrow, Warno, stuff like that, where you really get into trying to keep your units alive for as long as you can and as much as you can. The campaign, and yeah, unfortunate, but I wish I liked the game more, because I think if I was a bigger fan of that style of game, I would prefer it over some others, and I think I'll be a lot more excited for it than I am. But oh, and also on a tangentially related note, I get the feeling that the game would have benefited a lot from a procedural campaign of some description a la Kane's Wrath, right? I feel like that would have been such a massive thing for the game, where you would like have a campaign map and you would attack and defend different spots and stuff instead of a story campaign. Well, not instead of a story campaign, alongside a story campaign, to have that be as an option for just, have some sort of permanence behind skirmishes as well. But, I guess given the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of that, there are some other things, like regiments as well, is one more that I've played a fair amount of. And, yeah. Had a lot of fun with those, and I suppose that's be one of the last things I talk about in the stream, at least news-wise. Regiments is freaking amazing. Warno is also really good. I kind of prefer regiments a little bit, although I'm torn on the two, right? I'm somewhere in between the two. There's elements of Warno I really like. There's elements of Warno I dislike. And and regiments, from a gameplay perspective, I like a little bit more because it's slower. It's not as micro-intensive, but it's also a bit repetitive and it gets a bit old because you're either attacking or defending a point, and it almost doesn't matter what's defending a particular point on the map. The way you attack it and the way you defend it is almost the same, right? And so it gets a little bit repetitive. What with the artillery strikes and helicopters running back and forth and stuff, it's not bad, but it gets a little bit repetitive. Wait, what is it? What is it that the game really wants me to do at this point? You know what? Never mind. I'll do the other quest. I'll feed the skag. It's little bits, and then I'll get to this. It's really difficult to focus on what the game's trying to get me to do versus, you know, me talking about news and stuff like that. At any rate, though, where was I? So yeah, Regiments is really fun. I love it, but it gets a little bit repetitive. Whereas Warno, for me, is a little bit too micro-intensive and a little bit too punishing. In that, you know, a misplaced truck will get blown up pretty much instantly by an ATGM launcher, which is realistic. I mean, it would. Why would a truck take like 3 ATGMs to kill it? Doesn't make any sense. I'm not holding this against Warno, and I guess to a large part of the conversation against realism like that. It's just that it's a little bit more fun and a little bit more relaxing in Regiments where you have a little bit more in the way of reaction time, right? And even if you issue the wrong order and maybe misplace one of your units or something, it's not the end of the world for that unit immediately, right? You can you can get it out of there. You can smoke it off. You can call in, you know, artillery to suppress the enemy to make sure that unit gets out of there safely, so on and so forth. So it's a little bit more of a grand scale of things rather than micromanaging. That said, though, look at these games. Well, okay, maybe not completely, but I'm not very good at these games. They're not particularly easy. They're not all that difficult to get into, but they're pretty difficult. Like, the skill ceiling is pretty high, right? I'm talking Broken Arrow, Warno, Regiments, all these things. The skill ceiling is pretty high, right? There's a lot of actions that you need to do quickly, so speed is part of the equation. Tactics are a part of the equation as well, how you would go about attacking a particular area, how you go about defending, picking where you want to fight, and line of sight is also so important in all of these games. Making sure you use terrain features properly. Yeah, all that's, you know, I love all that. All that's important. And then on top of that, you have to add a layer of logistics, right? Because your units are going to run out of fuel, they're going to run out of ammo. You need to feed them fuel and ammo. And so where you go also needs to be within reason, close to your trucks, close to your base, close to the, you know, you need to be able to refuel them. I'll give you a good example. Maybe Warno doesn't suffer from this as much as Regiments. Some of the best places to fight the enemy is at the edges of the map, where the enemy spawn is, right, for Regiments. The problem is, well, first of all, the problem is getting there, because you're going to need to run through or fight through an absurd amount of enemies, an absurd amount of fortified enemy positions in order to get there, but say that you do. And if you're defending an area, it's particularly important that you actually get there at some point. Big issue with getting your units there is keeping them there. Like, you can get them there, it's not the end of the world, it's not the most difficult thing ever. But keeping them there is a problem because of logistics. Yeah, logistics is a huge part, and you only have so many trucks that can lug ammo and fuel to your units, and obviously the same trucks are used for replenishing losses when it comes to infantry, and etc, etc. There's only so much, and even if you get trucks there, you then need to take those trucks back to base to refuel, to fuel and rearm the trucks. No, not quite. What would you call that? To, like, resupplied the supply trucks. It sounds weird, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? You put supplies back on the trucks and you haul them out to the front lines again. The issue with doing that is the front lines are very, very far away, and so sometimes you end up having to retreat from the best fighting position ever just because you ran out of ammo and it's really far away. And so it's another layer of something to keep in mind, and it's part of the appeal for these games. And I guess with the Steam sale thing going on right now, one of the wonderful things about it is you can try it out. You know, you don't have to commit your money to it. You don't have to commit anything, really. You just download a demo and try it out. And if you do end up liking it, or you're not really sure if you like it or not, after the demo, you can... It's still on sale, right? So it's great that people get to try them out, but at the same time, they're really complicated. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it's okay if you're not the best at these games. It's okay if you almost suck at them a little bit. Fine. There's difficulty levels, and there's also mods and stuff to make your life easier. Especially with Warno, I struggle with fuel, because it's one of those... You know what? It's one thing too many to keep an eye on for me. But mind you, I haven't played a lot of it. I'm still learning, etc., etc. All the standard excuses. However, it's one of those things that's a little bit too much to keep an eye on, because I can keep an eye on the ammunition. I can keep an eye on, like, you know, the enemy, where I want to find, the terrain features, etc., etc. I can try and you know, get a grip of that whole situation, and I can try potentially maybe to not have everything fall apart on that front, but the moment you put fuel into the occasion, it's a bit overwhelming. And I've had so many tanks run out of fuel. It's I'm like, okay, it's full on ammo. Why is it not moving? Oh yeah, because Juggernaut, you might be shocked to learn, but most tanks do not run off of tank shells. Run off of fuel. God damn it.
Let Jack have his ivory towers. I came to Pandora for action.
But at any rate, that was worn out, and like I said, thankfully, you have like infinite fuel mods. You have so many different options. You have cheat mods if you're feeling particularly bad at the game and still want to enjoy it. There's one mod that I really, really like. It's the /NATO buff mod. So depending on, it's a single player mod obviously, but depending on whether you're playing as the pack or the NATO side, you can buff your units. They're a little bit better. They have a little bit more strength, a little bit more cohesion, a little bit more ammo, a little bit more everything. And so it's kind of like easy mode. And I'm going to be honest, for me, it's a bit much. It makes it a little bit too easy. For example, instead of having 6 tow missiles, the average Bradley would have like 30 or something, which is ridiculous. Like, it's... I like the whole logistics part of the game. I really do, and so removing it outright like that is a bit, you know. I honestly kind of like this shield a little bit more. Yeah, I'm gonna keep the shield. Definitely gonna keep the shield. Okay. And so yeah, that's wait, give me a second. Oh, I'm done. That's the end of the quest. Okay. Plant the skag bait. Coat bomb with laxative complete. Okay. Good. Thanks, I think. Now what? You know what I mean? Like, I've coated the bomb with the laxative. I get the feeling when there's a check mark on the screen, this quest is supposed to progress. Move forward. Something's supposed to happen. Fine. You know what, whatever. Let's turn this in and let's get out of Lynchwood, because I think that's the final quest here anyway, so... Whatever, we can do something else. We can open boxes! Yes, we can. What am I? I'm level 47. Oh, we can open a few for the stream, right? We can open a few. Let's see if we get something particularly nice. Although maybe I want to leave that for later. I mean, I have like 200 something keys. What exactly am I saving up for? Retirement? At any rate, I'm just going to take a quick little sip of water while we travel back to Sanctuary, I believe. And then, yeah, sure, you can give me this. Yeah, we're going to go to Sanctuary really quickly. Oh no, this is Train to Dust. I need a fast travel station. Okay, water's going to have to wait. Let's grab this. And yeah, one of the things that I wanted to do was a couple of videos on either Regiments or Warno. The only problem is I really suck at them, and I would have to play it like a... Well, I don't know, either lower difficulty or something modded like that or whatever in order to have fun. And they're really fun games, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying them so much. Especially playing on like a sort of customized... In a customized way. Whether it be with like mods or whether it be with you know, lowering the difficulty or whatever, and so on and so forth. But I feel like to make videos like that for YouTube is a bit controversial, shall we say, at the very least, because most of the content out there has to be on the highest difficulty level, has to be on the most insane settings and everything, and I get the feeling that, you know, just playing fair on normal isn't really enough for YouTube content for games like that, and I don't know. Maybe it's just me though, overthinking it. Kind of difficult to tell. Okay, we are going to... Oh, I have to... Never mind. As long as I'm here, right? As long as I'm here, I might as well go and turn this in. Although my voice is starting to suffer a little bit. Oh, well, there's something interesting I discovered. When you lock this game to 30 FPS, most of the bugs go away. There's a number of movement bugs surrounding the buggies and vehicles and stuff like that. Hey, there you go. That is the most gorgeous looking weapon I've seen in this game so far. I don't care what its stats are, I want to see it. What is that?
I got another job for you, boyo. Meet with my man.
Times like this, I wish there was an inspect option. Good things kill in threes. Consumes 3 ammo per shot and has 3 shots inside it, oddly enough. It's good. Fires as fast as you can pull the trigger. Minus weapon damage plus critical hit damage. 1,500 times 19. Compare it to...
There's pros and cons to each.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as good as this. That's unfortunate. It's a really nice looking weapon though. I'm a bit of a sucker for those engravings and stuff like that. Okay, let's get out of here. We're going to Opportunity, or rather we're going to Sanctuary first and then Opportunity first and foremost. I'm going to refill myself a little bit of water and take a very, very short 30-second break. Yo. Sanctuary. There we go. And then we can sell the stuff and we can probably open a box or two. But I will see you in a minute. Just got to refill this and I will be back. And we're back. Oh. Fever seems to be gone. I'm feeling a little bit better. Just kind of feels a bit weird though. Like, you know when you feel like you're coming down with something? Well, I'm on the tail end of that, I think, but still feels a bit weird. Anyways.
Wow.
Yes, please. I like these very much. How do they compare to this gun? Not very well. Although, probably rapid firing, right? Fire rate 7.7. Fire rate 4.1. 12.3. I think that's going to be good. I'm going to sell a few things first. Let's see if I can buy something. I can probably buy... Oh yeah, I can buy a lot of stuff.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for the iridium, chump. Take it and go. What a sucker.
Okay, there we go.
You scrapper? Scrapper!
That is awesome.
Get your health and shields right here.
Sell this. Grenade goes away as well. As much as it hurts me, shotgun needs to go.
Be careful out there.
And then we switch over to this. That's going to be good against some boss fights and when you need sustained damage and stuff. I am a fan. Okay, let's check where the next set of missions is. I have something in the fridge, something over here. These are very low-level missions, though, so let's go with the main story in Opportunity. And we can also switch to this.
To breach the final door to my chambers, you'll need
Okay,
to
so here's the new
fast.
gun.
That means
Rapid spinny gun.
passing a
As far as
bonus
gun names
scan
go,
and
it's
speaking a password
okay.
in his voice. If you can
I'd
kill
put
one
it
of Jack's
ever
body
so
doubles in
slightly
Opportunity,
below
I can
Little
get you through
Smig.
that door.
But okay.
War is won in the mind. So long as Jack's got those propagantastic statues of himself around Opportunity, we can't truly win this war. Go, minion! Blast those statues to bits!
I've always got new stock. Check back.
Oh, I remember this bit. I remember this area as a whole.
The statues are bulletproof. You
Yep.
win this round, inanimate object. Minion, I need you to search the Opportunity drop zone for a deactivated constructor. Then you can use it to cut through the statues for you.
So this is a New Game Plus run. The previous run I had, this was by far the most difficult area. Way harder than the final boss, it was way harder than the final few areas of the game, it was above and beyond everything. I mean, given my level at the time and everything. And it wasn't like I was underleveled for the area either, I was around the same spot, I would say, as I am right now. So level 43, 44 area, 45 depending on the enemies, and I'm level 47. That was sort of like that in the previous run as well. Yeah, tough luck, what can I say? I had help here, I met some really, really lovely people in this area, and one guy that was very silent and very... Well, he was very silent most of the time, and then when he wasn't, he was very rude, so I guess he was there to counteract all the nice people that I met in this area on the online stuff. And I think here was the first time I actually played this game online with anyone. Played it with some friends a couple of times, but I opened it up to the public and I was like, yeah, I need help with this. This is a tough area. And I did get some help. It was very, very fun. At any rate, I think I'm about done in terms of the news segment of the stream and everything. I already talked about Steam sale, I talked about the Oblivion thing. I'm kind of out of topics on that front. If there is... Well, if there's anyone that would like to suggest something, by all means. But if anything else pops into mind, I will discuss it. For now, though, I think if there's nothing else, I'll just focus a little bit on the game and try and get through this area, because it's fun for all the challenges that it presents. Although I do have much better weapons this time around. So, I'm not sure just how terrible the difficulty will be this time around compared to the last time I did it. Ah, yeah, there's the difficulty. Shite. Yeah. Here we go.
And now you will fall.
Did I... Is it dead? It's dead, boss. Somehow. History's a funny thing, written by the victor.
Welcome to the Hyperion Hall of History. All citizens who reach the end of our historical tour will receive a sizable tax refund.
Get a clear understanding. Right, of course.
Pandora was chaos.
The fact that this opens up like the Bible is just...
Jack came to Pandora, he found a world of danger and hardship. Jack armed himself to the teeth, using the
I mean, there's being an egotistical maniac, and then there's this. Such a good supervillain. God, I miss stuff like this in Borderlands 3. Oh my... I could drone on and on about it. God, I miss writing like this, villains like this, characters like these in Borderlands 3, because Borderlands 3 is a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's a great game. The combat, the movement, the guns. I kind of prefer most of that to Borderlands 2. I really do. The leveling, the quests, and generally the maps and stuff, I think Borderlands 2 has a slight advantage, although not that big. Characters and the writing. Oh. Painful. You know what the best way to enjoy Borderlands 2 is? Turn off the subtitles and turn off dialogue. And just pretend that all of them are mute. Yeah? Just pretend that nothing is happening, they're all mute, and then it's all make pretend, right? And actually, you can just read all the dialogue in Tiny Tina's voice from the first game, and pretend that it's some sort of weird, delirious episode of hers, right? That would improve the story greatly, and the characters and everything. Because the way it is, and the way it's trying to be serious is... and it's such a shame. It's such a shame because the guns and the movement are really, really fun. I really like them.
Thank you for visiting the
Okay, there we go. We've now learned everything there is to know about Jack, the holy, the mighty, the all-powerful. Hilarious. I've listed those recordings like, I don't know, a dozen times or so. So yeah, it's paying too much attention to them now, but generally.
That's one of the body doubles Jack uses to confuse assassins and impress his army.
Oh god, super badass loader. Okay. Grenade! Okay, this machine gun's really, really good. I want to just really quickly sort out something. Yeah, this I like to have in my guns. And then let me just get rid of all of these, mark them for trash. I wonder, is this how other people manage their inventory in the game as well? Like, do you mark stuff for trash and then sell it, or do you... Is it sort of a more like a one at a time sort of thing? Tell you what, I'm going to use the nasty blaster for this area, I think. Because the nasty blaster has corrosive damage. It fires really quickly, but it also has corrosive damage. And I think... Okay. You gotta kill something! Oh, damn it. I don't remember the last time I died in this run. Or as, in the New Game Plus run. As this character. I genuinely do not remember the last time I died. I don't know even if I died. I had to have died at least once, right? Yeah, I died once. One time that I remember, it was with the... early in the game, before you get the Sanctuary, when you're trying to... Or rather, just after you get the Sanctuary. When you're trying to do the... gun mystery for Dr. Zed. There's a weapon that's killing people, but it doesn't leave bullet holes, but it's, you know, whatever. It's an iridium-based weapon. It turns out to be an iridium machine gun. So on and so forth. Yeah, that... With the iridium machine gun, I died once. And that's about it. This is the second death of this character.
I didn't sign up to fight friggin' bandits!
Goes to show you. This area is pretty tough, even with some very, dare I say, awe-inspiring weaponry. In terms of damage and everything. Oh, he's immune to phase shift. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but... Okay. I really don't need to reload this thing as often. I'm in the habit of reloading this gun. Because of the other weapons that I have.
It echoes his BIOS. That pocket watch also records audio. Jack loved to listen to the praise of his underlings. We need to create a voice modulator so you can speak in Jack's voice. Get to an info kiosk.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'm gonna do something really, really awesome. And that is we're gonna turn into...
You know that some people on this planet still believe in silly superstitions.
Jack's, we're gonna use all this stuff that we've picked up to modulate our voice to turn into Handsome Jack.
Yes, this is
And I have a surprise for you once we do.
If I get a few more samples of Jack's voice, I can make a voice modulator for you.
Yeah,
You
voice
need to get more
modulator thing.
voice samples from the other info
I can do better
kiosks.
than a voice modulator. But it's gonna take a minute.
Hey, kids, did you know your chances of being disemboweled increase by 80,000% upon leaving opportunity? It's a scientific fact.
I also remember there's like an under area.
Activate a few
Yeah.
more kiosks.
To use Counter-Strike terminology.
Did you know you're staring at the future side of the Opportunity Pleasure Palace? That's right. For
No, that no matter how many times I play through
the
this
life-size likeness of me.
bit of the game, I could never remember where the entrance is. It's sort of underneath... It's not underneath this, it's over here somewhere and then underneath. And no, it's not down here, I don't think. Or is it? There. There's a quest that ends up there, but there's one more under area like that. I can never find it.
Are you feeling good? Feeling healthy and confident?
Free!
Then you're not working hard enough. A miserable worker is a hard worker.
Damn it!
Hey. Man, it's a good submachine gun. I didn't really realize when I picked it up, and I haven't really used it that much, but this is... damage on this thing is... So, I think... because this thing has corrosive, probably going to be a little bit better for most enemies around here.
Hey, kids, did you know your chances of being disemboweled increase by 80,000% upon leaving opportunity? It's a scientific fact.
Okay. Sweetie, most of the time I get the feeling that enemies in this area just respawn infinitely and there's no way to clear it out, ever. I know it's not true, it's just that you sort of get that feeling. Also, probably going to be one of the rare instances in which I run out of ammo. That grenade was comically bad, but like comically bad, just floated by everyone harmlessly. Okay, so let's get down here.
Hey, kids, did you know what your mommies and daddies gave up so your family could live in opportunity? Literally nothing. Your family is paid to
oh boy.
be here.
Oh boy.
Everyone feeds and protects everyone.
Oh boy.
We should all love our parents. But
Hey,
love
oh, I can actually do it, okay. Lucky me. Speaking of difficulty levels, I talked about difficulty strategy games and stuff. I have no idea how to put this without sounding rude, and so I'm not going to try too much because usually you end up just sounding worse than you intend to, or you just make it worse by trying to sound polite. But could someone please explain to me what all the fuss is about when it comes to difficulty in Borderlands 2? Because I've been on the Borderlands subreddit, and now, mistake there already, I know. But there's a lot of people fussing over how difficult Borderlands 2 is in New Game Plus, and in, it's not called New Game Plus Plus, because that's a silly name, but that's what I'm going to call it, because I don't know the actual name of it. It's... give me a second. It's either True Vault Hunter mode or Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. It's one of the two, and I don't know the difference. And I think one starts at level 50, the other starts with New Game Plus. Right? At least that's how I understood the thing. And don't get me wrong, it's not like you could never die in it and it's the easiest thing ever. It's just not what I mean. It's
Another down.
It's fun, it's alright, but I wouldn't exactly call it difficult either. It's like, you know, it's okay. A bit more of a challenge, but considering you've ran through the game once already, and you had to have, right, if you want to enable it. What exactly is the... where exactly does the difficulty come in, if you know what I mean? Like, because there's a lot of people complaining, okay, so I need to prepare for Ultimate Vault Hunt. How do I prepare for it? What do I do? What do I, you know? And there's all sorts of builds and secrets and whatever, and here you need to farm this weapon, and there you need to farm that weapon, and it's like... I've seen people fuss less over difficulty in like Dark Souls games than this, and it's like now you just turn it on, you play, you do the quests, you do the missions, you level up, you get to max level, and you know, just have fun, sort of. If you want to grind for particular weapons, they can be really fun. I know a few spots off the top of my head, but that's okay, but it's not like it's the most difficult thing on the planet, and you now need to spend, you know, days and days making mental notes and Excel spreadsheets or whatever of where you need to level which thing and whatever. I mean, I'm getting to that point of doing Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, and I have no idea what any of my skills are. I mean, I've just picked stuff that looks relatively okay, right? Like,
No, complaining about opportunities laws is considered verbal littering.
so yeah, kind of I don't know. Again, I don't want to sound rude if people are having difficulty with this. It's fine, but it feels like there's a lot of people fussing over it, where in reality it's just like you go in and you shoot stuff. It's not that big of a problem. In fact, one of the biggest game mechanics is the whole slag thing, where you slag enemies first and then you shoot them. If you're playing solo, it helps. Don't get me wrong, especially against some of the like really big boss fights and stuff. You're gonna have to do it, but 99 times out of 10, not really. You know what I mean? Like, no, you're not really gonna have to worry about it too much. It's down here, wasn't it? Yeah. Finding this door took about, like, I don't know, in the first run took about maybe 30 minutes or so. Because I was convinced that it's somewhere above ground. For no good reason whatsoever, I was just thought it was above ground and refused to acknowledge the possibility that it might be down here.
I see the files. All done. Now grab the voice modulator.
Okay, gimme.
Now, unfortunately, you will speak in Jack's voice until you reach the security door. I will tell you the password to open it at the appropriate time.
This is interesting technology.
You say unfortunately,
Oh, God, I sounded
but listen to this. Oh God.
You seriously thought you could hide from me, Angel? Is that what you thought? Say goodbye to your friend, Angel. Say it.
See you soon.
You found a way past the final door to Angel's control core, huh? Well, she's kept up her part of the bargain, surprisingly. Time to return the favor. Come on back and we'll steal ourselves a vault key.
Right. Except no, right? We're not going back yet. There's more quests here. Yeah. Actually, plenty of quests here. Although, hold on. I kind of want to go back, because I want to put the Handsome Jack mask on. That was my big surprise. Because not only am I going to sound like Handsome Jack for the... well, for a good chunk of this game, I'm also gonna look like him. Which, if you ask me, is the ultimate way to play this game. Get the voice modulator, put on the mask, and, you know, lo and behold. Okay. Let me see. There was something else I wanted, but now it completely skipped my mind. There we go. Grab this stuff.
With those lures, you can trick those surveyor bots to fly wherever you want.
I don't really need to fight anyone anymore, but...
the surveyors should crash into them. Could be fun.
holy hell, the difference in rate of fire when you phase lock someone with this machine gun. Ooh, boy. Okay, that is impressive. Yikes. That is very, very impressive. I need to open some of these boxes. For ammunition more so than anything else. Because this thing will shoot through most of my ammo. Right, now this wasn't that difficult if I remember right. Yeah, you place these down and then you wait for the supply drop, and it's okay. The more difficult part is the one that way. There's another quest that way with, it's like a constructor bot, but it's not a regular one. You need to guide it from statue to statue. I think that was the really difficult one. And then there's like a super boss fight over there, I think. I remember right from the first playthrough. Well, and from the previous ones, but the previous ones happened like a few years ago, I think is the earliest one that I remember, so, I don't put too much faith in me remembering anything related to that. Does the grenade... The grenade does not go through, unfortunately. Yes, I did. I found.
You'll be like his mommy, his gun-toting, profanity-spewing mommy.
Yeah, not a problem. I can get him operational. Keeping him operational, that's what the big challenge is, because he takes a ton of damage from his friends.
Big crane past the waterfront quarter. Once you call in a drop, the moonshot will destroy the crane. Should look great on film.
Prepping corpse disposal.
Stop it. All right, workers, time for your lunch break. 5, 4, 3, 1.
Okay, place orbital beacon. Do we do this first and then come back to the... Yeah, I think we need to do this first and then come back to the constructor bot. Because that's going to be a bit too difficult otherwise. Doing both at the same time, because I can't really stay away from the constructor too long. It will take too much damage. And this quest requires that I go fair ways away from here. In other news, been streaming for about, is it 2 hours yet? It's almost 2 hours. 0 drop frames. None. I am streaming in 720p. It's not exactly this decade level of technology. Previous decade maybe, but even then, you know. Even for the previous decade, it's not really all that impressive. However, okay, let's see what I can grab. I have elated. I have. You take health damage, the attacker takes equal to the amount of health lost. That's not terrible. This has been a lifesaver. This has been the most overpowered skill in, like, out of all of them, probably. Chain reaction's really good. I like chain reaction. Yeah, let's go down this line a little bit. Did it happen?
That ought to do
Yep, it happened.
Get to the Co-Opportunity Outreach Center and broadcast that footage you shot.
That's awesome. And then in here is a thing, right? A thing full of useless things, but regardless. That was good. I think the flu virus or whatever I had yesterday is sort of catching up to me again. I need to go and lie down for a few hours, I think. But for what it's worth, it was one of the weirdest experiences of being sick I've had in my life, because I felt a bit strange. You know that feeling you have when you're just about to get sick? You're just about to have fever or something, but you don't have anything yet. You just know it's coming. I felt like that pretty much the entire day, and then in the evening, in the space of like 3 seconds, it all hits me like a truck. Like fever, headache, running nose, everything. Like throat hurts, everything just happens in the space of like... This thing again. Everything just hits me like a truck in the space of like a couple of minutes. Well, not a couple of minutes, literally like a couple of seconds.
Your work's done.
I can keep hitting this all day if you want. Yeah, thank you. Weird. And then, yeah, it just hits me so quickly. I feel like crushed, and then I lie down. I take some medicine. And I swear to you, like, an hour and a half later, I feel fine. Like, I feel perfectly healthy, nothing's wrong with me. And I felt like that for the entirety of the night. This morning, woke up feeling a little bit tired and a little bit exhausted. Like, you know, you've been through something, but fine. Like, no real symptoms, except maybe a little bit, head feels a little bit weird and a bit fuzzy, but yeah, everything else fine. And now I think it's catching up to me again. I feel like a little bit, but yeah, usually if I catch a virus or you know, I get sick for whatever reason, it's like 3 or 4 days, and at the very least of the exact same symptoms and nothing changing. This has been a unique experience, shall we say. Never had something like that, which was well, yeah, I'm not complaining, just strange. Okay, we need to go to Sanctuary to turn these two in, but we're not going there yet, because there's Hell Hath No Fury. Yeah, that one. Hell Hath No Fury, like a foreman scorned, is I guess what we're getting at.
Damn it!
Yep, they're back.
Quiet.
Up. Didn't get much ricochets off of that one.
Figures.
That unfortunate. Good old SMG. Aside from the fact that I can barely see what I'm shooting at when I lean into it a little bit more, this is a phenomenal gun.
Surrender your weapons. Throwing grenade. Critical damage sustained.
I've been thinking also what games I should stream more so for the purposes of the actual game itself. And given my internet quality, or this makes me very angry. This just... It still evokes anger. No matter how many times I've seen him kill Bloodwing, and how many playthroughs I do, still evokes anger to this day. Anywho, I'm thinking about what sort of games I can stream for the purposes of the game itself, rather than, you know, me chatting on about something. But and it's not ideal because this is the highest quality I can stream in. And I went today, actually. Oh, sorry, not today. Yesterday morning. I went on a bit of a... How do I put this? A bit of a crusade, if you will, looking for better internet. And tried to explain my situation to various internet provider companies, of which there are exactly... Well, there are multiple, but they use the same infrastructure. So, in other words, there's one, right? There's one company that owns the whole infrastructure, and then there's various other companies that lease it from the one big company. Which is also, I think, partly state-run as well, which is, you can imagine how well that goes. At any rate, so I went on a bit of a crusade trying to find better internet access, trying to get optic fiber and see what my options are and stuff. And yeah, well, the long and short of it is, it's not looking good, Chief. Not looking great, is what I was told. Essentially, optic fiber is available for my street, just not for me, because I live in a bureaucratic hellhole in which I am positioned exactly 4 to 5 feet further from the intended optic fiber line from either side of the street. And so me and my neighbor, we don't get optic fiber internet. And there's no intention of getting us optic fiber internet anytime soon. Because officially, the street is covered. Because they've went from like a few houses down, east, and a few houses up, west. Right? Leaving this sort of black hole in the middle where there's no optic coverage. But it's just a couple of houses, so who cares?
Alright, let's talk weapons, everybody.
Well, weapon sales have skyrocketed since the opening of the
That is
vault.
so annoying. That is so annoying because it's right there. I can see the freaking thing. I take a look outside the window and I can see the bloody thing, but no, it's there. At this point, I offered everything. I'm like, can I pay you to hook me up? Like, can I pay for the cables? Can I pay for the people that are going to come in and hook it up? I'm willing to, like, you know, work with you here. I understand that it's not planned, because the company thinks they've covered the street already and they don't want to look into details of it, but can we negotiate? Can we work something out? Like, my contract expires in a couple of months, I think. Can we do something about this? Is there any leeway, and is there any flexibility? No, as far as the company's concerned, the entire street is covered, and there won't be any plans to you know, do anything over until everything else is done in the entire town and the entire, like, region, basically. Like, how long is that going to take? And it's like, it's going to be a long time, because there's a whole bunch of remote places that they want to get to. Which is the most frustrating thing ever, because they will get to, like, the most remote houses and villages and everything first. And after that, they're going to get to me, and I'm, like, 3 meters away from the bloody thing. Like, I just... Anyways. So no, I will not be getting any better internet anytime soon, probably. Unless I move, which... it might happen, I don't know, it depends on work and stuff. On how that goes.
Silence!
Yeah. It is what it is, right? Third world shithole? Well, depending on who you ask and how you look at it, but in this instance, kinda, yeah.
You'll regret that.
That's not to mention the fact that they've changed the pricing overnight without notifying anyone. They've changed the stuff that you have access to when it comes to, like, TV channels and apps and services or whatever, also overnight, also without notifying anyone. Any notice.
Success. No. Stop.
But I'll try and talk to a few more companies, which I think I can do, and see if any of them are a little bit more... how do I put this? A little bit more flexible. Because, like I said, they do rent out the same infrastructure, but... Is this one not flying? It's a weird bug. Okay. I'll talk to a few more companies, see if they do rent out the same infrastructure, like I said, but you know, maybe they have some more influence as to who gets plugged in at one point. Maybe they can push things along to some degree.
Sounds like that key was just the right size. See if there's anything useful in there.
All right, workers, time
If
to...
I know my explosives,
yeah.
and I'd like to think I do, you could use those charges to flood the construction site. If you'd blow up the nearby retaining wall and flood those pits, I'd be awful grateful.
Please never mention anything about me blowing my load ever again.
Against me, huh? I mean, don't get me wrong, I get it. Once you meet me for infantry, it's hard to go back to sucking down hamburgers. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
Very well.
Grenades are doing virtually no damage, which is kind of unfortunate.
So it goes.
I've got to be honest, again, it could be just the fact that I have really good weapons. It could be, I don't know, a host of other things as well. Maybe I just got a bit better at the game. Maybe it's the skills, maybe it's, I don't know. But this area feels easier now than it did last time. And again, this is just me ranting on about the whole Reddit situation where people complain about the difficulty. Doesn't really feel like
You stop.
all that much harder than the regular
Wasting my time.
first playthrough.
Nearly paid off the house.
But at the same time, I never had in the first playthrough, I never had this toxic cloud thing, which is by far the most overpowered thing I've ever seen in a Borderlands game. Hi.
Bandit! Damn it! It was almost quitting time.
Increasing aggression.
Farewell.
Beautiful.
Authorized.
You're pissing me off.
How do I get up there? Is it... What's a good way of going about that? I seem to remember having to go around like this. I could be wrong, but... As part of me seems to remember, you have to go down into the thing and then out the other end. Went through this area in the regular new game, not new game plus. Went through it with 4 people. It was fun. It was also incredibly difficult. But in it, never got the place to charge, so
We're gonna make a big boom.
I'm not entirely sure where it is.
My construction site offered Moxie, you bitch!
Haven't heard Jack that angry since I kicked his
I was gonna say, that's...
plastic ass to the curb. Come on back, sugar.
I was gonna say that he sounds incredibly angry. He sounds way angrier than... I don't know... ever up until this point, I want to say, right? In the story? Yeah. I guess he knows how to push his buttons. Fair enough, right? Yeah, I'm trying to think in the story. Like, he gets pretty upset later down the line. Don't want to spoil anything, even though it's an incredibly old game. He gets upset later down the line, but in the story up until now, I don't think he ever got this upset about anything. Which is pretty funny. Okay, let's see if I can...
Wasn't my time.
When...
So it goes.
Go up. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Whoops. Okay. Give me my SMG back. Also, tell you what. The sniper rifle, give me the rocket launcher. Sniping isn't going to do me any favors around here, I don't think. Is this one better? Accuracy, fire rate, reload speed. Yeah. Yeah, this was pretty much just superior version. Okay, if you just give me a second, I need to list all of these for sale. Gonna take a bit because there's a lot of stuff. These grenades have been absolutely useless. Like both the new ones I picked up, the older ones I had before, all of them have been pretty much just terrible. Okay. Let's see. Alright, this is gonna be good. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. That's... Generally speaking, it's better when you hit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Beautiful. That'll do. And again, much easier than the previous run. Didn't know what to tell you. That'd be really funny if I die right now. After, Oh, I will. Yeah, I can't kill it because of shield. In your face, streamer. I know. It was just timing, though, right? And timing, and then the fact that I just sort of stopped fighting after I killed the constructor. Because that's the boss, right? Kill the boss, don't need to fight anymore. Not really quite the end of everything, as you might think, but... yeah, it's fine. It's not bad. Goes to show you, though. 2 deaths in this region, and up until this point, I had 1, I'm fairly certain, in the whole New Game Plus thing. So, yeah, this is a tough area. This, for me, is one of the toughest. Usually have an easier time killing the bunker and Jack and the warrior and everything later down the line than compared to this, but yeah. It is.
Silence!
Alright, let's check out the grenade. I mean, it finished him off, I guess, the explosion, but... all things considered, it's still a touch disappointing. I really need to stop reloading this gun. Like, this gun does not need to be reloaded. Look at the ammo capacity, like 300. Keep reloading it like it's 30 instead of 300. But generally speaking, most of my weapons up until this point have had relatively low capacity, so I have to keep reloading them either automatically or proactively on my own, right? So, yeah. Okay, statuesque, the worst, in my modest opinion, quest in this area, or at least the most difficult one, but it's not even that particularly fun. Although, you do get to hurt Handsome Jack's ego in the process, so you could say it's pretty good, you know, based on the reward. Yeah, sure, the reward's good. However, gameplay-wise, shall we say, the quest itself is... Eventually, it'll revolve around this. You push the button,
Trust the Vault Hunter, robot.
and then you gotta keep this thing alive and well. Okay, that thing is nasty. Even slagged, it's still that tough. Okay, that is one tough boss, Steward. Were it not for the corrosive cloud thing, I don't think I would have been able to get it. Jeez. Okay. Fair enough. Where's my constructor bot? Is it already all the way over there? Yep. I'm coming. Wait. Petty vandalism.
That's how far you've fallen?
Yes. Honestly, this is where we're at right now. We're at petty vandalism. That's where we are. it's been a while since I've done this quest. I don't remember. If it dies, I don't have to restart the entire quest, right? I just have to press the button again, and it starts cutting from the beginning. But I don't have to go and replay the entire quest, right? If anyone remembers, feel free to let me know. It's got an okay bit of HP, but there's also a lot of enemies that come here, including other constructors later down the line. Could you please just... yeah, thank you. These are not even worth picking up, I mean, that's... You good? Can we continue? Or do you need me to kill everyone first? I need to get rid of all the enemies. Alright, noted. And the next statue should be that one, right? Yeah. Hurrah for petty vandalism. Right, go on. Let me just switch guns because I don't have any more ammo for this one. What can I get? Pistol, I think, right? And this doesn't seem all that good until you fire it and you realize that it fires many, many shots instead of the one. And that at level, what is it, 36, 37, it does more damage than most level 47 weapons that I'm picking up. So, yeah, the pistol's badass, right? To use the game's own vocabulary. And this is where things get a little bit more challenging. Yeah, they're going to start sending in other constructors and more badass loaders and those annoying shield guys too. I wonder, can I... yeah, I can do that. That's pretty good. Did it kill it? Okay, threw a grenade right on top of its head. It did like... what? 15% of its health? A regular enemy.
I can actually see why you'd want to tear that particular statue down. Clearly you're illiterate, and the image of me enjoying a good book just makes your head hurt something awful.
Oh boy. Looks pretty cool.
Oh, come on! What's wrong with that statue? I'm holding the ball key and... son of a bitch! You know what these are, right? Those little something things your kind eats after you're done rolling around in your own feces? Ring a bell?
No! I forgot some of the lines for this. Can you tell it's getting to him? I get the feeling that it's getting to him a little bit. Oh, that's a lot of enemies though. No, I don't want to provoke the ones up hitting my constructor thing. Maybe... I was gonna say maybe don't fight the warlord when you're in last stand. Second one, not last stand.
Oh, for the love! Alright! Great! Success! You're pissing me off! Good for you! Here's your prize!
You know what? Here's an idea for second win for the next Borderlands game. If you're in second win and you killed all the enemies, there's nothing for you to kill, and you're outside of combat, you revive yourself. Because it really doesn't add to any challenge in the game or anything. It just adds to me feeling annoyed every time. I've killed everyone, but like either the damage over time or the bleed or whatever you want to call it affects damage. Kills you after you've killed the last enemy. It's just annoying. There's nothing else to it. Okay, health-wise, we're on par to complete the quest without having to reboot him, even though I'm not sure I can do that. I can't remember how it works. But I think the last time I did the quest, I was able to... You just press the button and he boots up again. You don't need to go all the way back to the beginning and do all 4 statues again. I think. But yeah, he's slightly under half HP for the final thing.
What is this even accomplishing? Are you trying to piss me off? Was that your goal? Well, mission accomplished.
You're gonna be the biggest enemy dead.
You know when I'm curb stomping your dumb little ass to death? You can take solace in the fact that one time, for like 8 seconds,
8 seconds.
mildly irritated me. Good for you. Your parents
Mildly
must be
irritate him
so
for
proud.
8 seconds, please. 8 seconds. Yeah, we're not going to be able to keep him over 50% HP. The overseer, that's a bit much. Although, bonus objectives for Borderlands, I mean, or rather in Borderlands in general, pretty shite. Not in the sense of they're bad objectives. No, they're all right. No, it's just that the rewards I haven't really noticed. I mean, is it like a tiny bit more cash or something most of the time? I remember one thing. There was I remember the quests from the beginning of the game a lot better than the ones towards the end of the game. But there's the one where you need to kill different bosses with appropriate weapons. So this one with a shotgun, this one with a sniper rifle, this one with a melee attack. I did all of them with the correct weapons, and I did all of them with the wrong weapons in the next playthrough, and the difference was... Well, I don't know. That's the whole point, right? I don't know what the difference was. I didn't notice anything different. I think I got a little bit more money for doing it the correct way, but it's so insignificant. Like that was maybe like $1,000 more. Look at the amount of money we're dealing with right now. Like, so it really doesn't scale in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. It's yeah. Press the dance button. There we go. That's what we were all looking for. Hold on. Yeah, last time I did this, I had like 3 people here, and we all danced to it. And it was a little bit funnier than me doing it alone, but...
3, 2, 1, dance time!
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Oh, he, just exploded, didn't he? I guess that's kinda like dancing.
You are such a jackass.
Success! Opportunity will
In what world? In what planet? In what universe is exploding just like dancing in some way? Proverbially, I guess? You know, when you explode on the dance floor? Not that I know anything about that, but... Maybe? They're just... so silly. Okay, I think we're done, right? And in relatively reasonable time? I think it took, what, about an hour-ish, maybe? Maybe a bit less. And opportunity is done, yeah. All the quests and opportunity done. It's way less than it took me last time, again. Yeah. I think I'm doing pretty alright. Tell you what. We have a few people on stream. Does anyone have any topic of conversation, shall we say, regarding the gaming news and stuff that I've been talking about, like, at the start of the stream? I went through the sales and the Oblivion thing. Anyone have any questions about that? Remember maybe like a topic that we can get into? I am more than open. More suggestions? If not, we can just keep doing the Borderlands thing for a little bit more until I, you know, until I give out, basically. Let's sell some of this stuff. A lot of quests to turn into. Turn in, comma, to Sniper rifle's good. Which one of these do I want to keep? Oh, this one's... I had no idea. This one's corrosive as well. I thought it was just this gun that's corrosive. Okay. Quick comparison. Reload speed, way better. Magazine smaller. Corrosive damage is the same. Corrosive chance is a little bit better on this gun. Damage is a little bit better on this one, although not by much. This one's more accurate. I like it because the ammo capacity, so I'm going to sell this one. There is no situation in which I'm going to be using both, right? Then you got to compare these two, and honestly, not a big fan of this weapon because of its accuracy. So yeah, and let's switch over to this too. Right, good. So we can sell, and then start turning in all of these quests. Part of me thought about doing the Project Zomboid stuff live. Because it's not the best looking game out there, I mean, graphical fidelity wise. Art style and stuff, I'm not questioning that. I like how it looks, but
this isn't a discussion. You're not going without.
Quality-wise, I thought
period.
It would be the
Look, I need you
most, you know.
If this turns out to be a trap, I need you to keep these people safe.
Is this because Angel told me not to come? It is, isn't it?
Lilith, damn it, would you just trust me, okay?
If you get killed, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Noted.
If you live,
We call
I'm
this
tearing those clothes
subtle
right off your body.
foreshadowing. Well, not really.
We're standing right
Also
here.
noted.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Excuse me for just a second. I have a phone call. I need to pick up, and I need to grab a little bit more water for myself. So I'll be back in literally less than 30 seconds. And we're back. Just, let's not forget to switch scenes. There we go. Just, testing. Right, good, good. So, turn these quests in. Retrieve the handsome Jack voice modulator.
Oh, this is
Done.
it, everybody. Lilith, Mordecai, you're protecting the city. Brick will provide air support for 1,000.
I also want to store this while he's talking.
From the cliff face. Any questions?
Yeah, why ain't I going?
This one.
And you will, but for now, I need you to protect the sanctuary.
Oh, sorry, no. Realistically, this one too. I'm not going to be using it anymore.
I promise.
As long as you say so.
But I do want to keep it for future
Baltimore,
characters.
We have a shot at stealing the vault key,
and stopping
because it's
Jack
incredibly powerful for the level that it is.
Field that'll atomize you, destroy a bunker carrying enough firepower to level a continent, and get through a door you can't possibly open.
That's his way of saying we're probably gonna die.
It's time to get Claptrap to 1,000 Cuts. We need him to shut down the force field.
Make it painful, guys.
This is gonna be fun!
It is. Convince Claptrap to help. Yeah, it's well, we'll get to that, shall we say. Okay, don't really need this rune. I feel like this would be great on a psycho character, right? Melee damage. Pretty important. For me, though, not so much. Also, this is a funny little thing. I failed Claptrap's birthday bash. You know you can fail it, but if you know how that quest goes, that's very funny. That you can fail it. It's. I mean, the joke is he invites people to his birthday and then nobody comes, and it's funny, but yes. All right, here we go. So, where is it? No, not this, not this. I have some sick skins. You gotta admit, I have some really nice skins. There we go. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. With the voice modulation as well. It just could it be any better? Actually, it could. I feel like Strangle a Puppy would go with Handsome Jack very well, but I have one. It's a little bit better. There we go. Pandoran Legend. Amazing. Hideous, but also amazing. Hell Hath No Fury. Oh, that's why it's Hell Hath No Fury, because it's Moxie's quest. Right, makes more sense now.
Nothing like a little vengeance to round
And I got a
day.
fairly bad grenade as a result. What can you do? Can I give you some more money? And then hopefully you get me... No, I got the machine gun already, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, tell you what, we're going to play slots a little bit. I like how the cash reward never pays out the amount that you put in, even if you get the best cash reward. Sorry, although I don't know why I'm apologizing. You're the one that put grenades in the thing. Okay, never gamble. Gambling doesn't pay. In other news, well, no other news. Just lesson for us all, I guess. Okay, is there anything else I need to turn in? Yeah, statuesque. That is for Claptrap. Really? Claptrap gives you that one? No, I know Claptrap guided me through the entire thing, but...
FYI.
I didn't feel like he would have it into...
Let's go to 1,000 Cuts!
No, let's not go to 1,000 Cuts. I need you to...
If you as my minion, then Angel just happened to attack Sanctuary. Don't you get it? Jack was coming after me! It's time to take the fight to him! I'll meet you in 1,000 Cuts!
No, don't meet me in 1,000 Cuts. What? Where is he? Damn it. Blocked. Lovely. Well, I do need to get to 1,000 Cuts, don't I? I do have 2 quests in the Highlands, one in the fridge, one over here, but I'm 48, these are 41, 42 level quests. No need to do any of them, so I suppose we are going to 1,000 Cuts. I'm pretty over-leveled for everything else. Which is... yeah. I was hoping the New Game Plus I wouldn't really be over-leveled for a lot of these things, and it's a bit better, but I'm still over-leveled for a lot of them. Right, 1,000 Cuts, here we go. pretty quiet. Is this the sort of... I was going to say tower defense. It's not really tower defense, but tower defense style kind of... Yeah, you get on the machine gun and then you defend against the oncoming waves of... Yeah, this is cool. That's a good bit.
Ready to go?
I never noticed this. You don't understand, I've done like 10 playthroughs of this game probably in total since it came out. I never noticed this. As you're walking up to him, he's writing Claptrap was here and like a portrait of himself. I've never noticed that in my life. I feel like that's more representative.
Minion, I've started my attack. I'm gonna tag every inch of this mountain if it's the last thing I do. Let's go. We're gonna make Jack regret ever setting up shop on this cliff. It'll take him minutes to wash this graffiti off. Minutes, I say!
Forgetting something?
Hey, you coming or not? Oh, right. You're not a Hyperion robot. I forget that sometimes.
For the memes and the jokes, I suicided myself into this the last time I played through this bit. I'm not gonna do it again, because... it's expensive. Thought it would be funny though. I was also playing with some other people and everyone had a great big laugh over it, but... Oh god. Oh god. Okay, here we go.
You stop. Oh, made it past the security wall, huh? That's it's real cute. Of course, the bunker's still going to obliterate you, but nonetheless, cute.
Okay, cute, whatever you say. Cute, cute it is. Don't need this anymore, I need the sniper rifle. There's... ouch. There's gonna be enemies.
Quiet.
Okay, it's like, it's doing nothing. I am gonna employ a slightly different tactic to what I usually do.
Now I'm angry.
As you can see, it didn't work, so we're now we're now reverting to previous tactics. Now, what I mean is, a lot of people usually fight through all of this here. You don't actually need to fight almost anything. You just need to go through, which is exactly what I intend on doing. So it's getting I mean, it's a bit boring, honestly, if you just have to sort of stay there and fight until God knows when, because the enemies keep respawning and it's a very, very lengthy fight. There's no need to fight through the entire thing. Okay, that helps. Actually, jumping saved my life, because it would have pushed me to the left and off the bridge otherwise. Let's stop very quickly here for ammunition. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, just run through the entire thing.
They ain't rolling out the welcome mat. Maybe you should take out those turrets on the towers so they'll open the doors.
I will, but the turrets are a little bit fireproof, and... you know. Take a minute.
You stop.
Loot me gun loader. Were it not here to obliterate me, it'd be very cute.
I lost shield. Silence.
Charging primary weapon. Function A. No. Critical aim. Function getting down.
Honestly, firing from the hip might be a slightly better solution to whatever this is. I want to say it's the alternative is ADSing, right? Aiming down sights. Yeah, but they're not much help. Like, technically it's sight, but if you can't see anything out the other end, is it really?
Quiet.
Yeah, this is a tough bit. I think there's is there like a mini boss around here somewhere, or am I imagining things? Or is it later down the line? I think here somewhere now. Yeah, there's there's Hyperion Commandos, but not what I meant.
You stop.
Good. More ammunition. Yeah, this is going very well.
Silence.
I know I usually die when I say that, but genuinely speaking, it's going pretty well. Guys, I think we found the boss fight. Oh dear Lord in heaven! All right, I have the solution on my shoulders. Don't worry. And a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5, and then just switch over to the sniper rifle again. And to this. Ooh, that's a lot of experience. And I mean a lot of experience. Hey, grenade, let's see what it does. Very little, next to nothing. Yeah. A pretty useless shotgun. Hey, the gun drops have been a little bit shite, shall we say, recently. I got that flanker, I got the pistol, which I think is where I've spent most of my luck for the entirety of this run. But other than that, the only good weapons I found were off of the shift keys and the golden chest. Golden keys, whatever you want to call them. Okay, area done. It's like
Hey, you know how I got my hands
half
on
the
that bulky?
trouble of getting to the bunker.
Wilhelm and I paid a visit to your little friend Tannis,
Oh, it's
and we beat
all of it. It's not half the trouble, but yeah.
We ripped it out of her
I
broken.
feel like that bit over there is a little bit more challenging than the actual bunker fight itself, or at least it was last time. I don't know how the boss will be now.
Slap, you're coming up on the bunker. I'm sending some of my boys to help you out.
Thank you. All help is appreciated and all that. There we go. The bunker, one of the more challenging boss fights in the game. At least if the internet is to be believed.
Eyes to the sky, Slap. My buzzards are coming in.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Take out those autocannons, Slap. They're tearing up your air support.
Mm-hmm. Will do. Delete this. Sell all of these, right? Yeah. Yep. And there we go. Okay, again, don't think I'm going to be needing the sniper rifle for
That
this
force field protects the final door to my chambers.
particular
It will
engagement.
only deactivate once you've destroyed the bunker.
I know, just Give me a minute, I need to pick up some ammunition. This is going to be a lengthy fight, and it's going to be hard. Although...
Alright, fun time's over, kiddies.
I think with this submachine gun...
And neither can you.
Yeah, we might even make it a bit... trivial, almost. It depends. It has some weird level scaling and... Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the SMG is gonna help. I haven't noticed. That's yeah. Let me just check something really quickly before we do the actual boss fight. Really quickly. Weird level scaling and... Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the SMG is gonna help. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Hello? We on? Yeah, we're on. Okay. Sorry about that. I just really wanted to check the audio on the stream and make sure nothing's too loud or too quiet or whatever. Yeah. Again, with the thing. Oh, for crying out loud. I'm gonna have to do the fight in 30 FPS. Every time I Alt-Tab, or maybe not every time, but sometimes when I Alt-Tab, the game locks itself to 30 FPS. Can I change that really quickly in the video settings? I don't think it's the video, I think it's OBS, isn't it? Okay, tell you what, I think I know how to fix this. We go over to standby, Alt-Tab, just game capture, switch to the game. Okay, I don't know how to do this. Never mind. Let's just do the fight. I've taken up enough of your time. Come on. Come on. Rise. Think. Come on. Let's say destroy 11 autocannons. It did, didn't it? There aren't 11 autocannons. Are you gonna keep rebuilding them or something?
Quiet.
And what? I mean, if they are able to keep rebuilding them for free, why is 11 the magic number? You know what I mean? Like. Good. I don't think I've ever gone down here when fighting the bunker. You know what I mean? Like usually you stay up there. There's no reason to come down here most of the time. Well, other than to kill the autocannons, you mean? Yeah, I know, but like playing with someone. 9 times out of 10, you're just sitting up there, and you can get away with killing them with like power-ups and minions if you have some. I guess it all depends on the characters you're playing with, but. Alright, there's one more.
You stop.
Oh no! Am I embarrassed? Like a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit of embarrassment. I blew off the thing, you know, the thing. Yeah, it's just after bragging about how it's not difficult in is True Vault Hunter mode or Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, one of the two, or at least it's on the precipice of the other as well. Save ammunition for this weapon. The actual bunker, right? Makes sense. Although, let me tell you, having to fight this at 30 FPS is a nightmare. I think it's an OBS thing with me alt-tabbing, because I was able, up until this point, until alt-tab, I was able to play at like 120, but stream at 30. Now it locked the game at 30, and it's a big jump, let me say. It's a big jump from one to the other. Okay, they're gonna be... Do I need to go down the... Oh, I need to go down the little catwalk again, don't I? Okay, that's 9, and we have 2 more that are nearby. Alright. Okay, finally.
No more autocannons.
Silence.
Good job, Slab.
They ran out of materials for them, or something. But not for the regular constructor bots, no, or the loaders or whatever
I'd protect Angel with nothing but a couple of bots and some flimsy turrets? You see, you're not at the bunker right now. The bunker isn't a place.
It's a boss.
That's the bunker. Meet the BNK-3R, the greatest defense bot ever built. Designed her myself. Now do me a favor and die.
Yeah, we're getting to his nerves a little bit now. Don't know if you can tell.
This is gonna get messy.
Yeah, get messy, whatever.
Quiet. Farewell.
You know when I told you guys that the fight's gonna be made a little bit trivial by the SMG of awesomeness that I've picked up? We're like halfway through the fight. And I don't mean just like through the quest progression or whatever, no, I mean like we're halfway through his HP.
Silence.
Yeah, this is the first time he's flown away, and he's at half HP. Less than, actually, at this point.
That is a big ass gun.
I mean, on the other hand, I'm running out of ammo. Barely have any left. So... There's that. Need to kill something.
Now,
Okay, good.
where was it?
Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Switch to the... I mean, I guess. But then, the corrosive machine gun isn't much worse, also, compared to the SMG. Low rate of fire, damage is somewhere in the vicinity of, I want to say, but... Yeah. You're dead. And without any preparation, without any special build, without any guides online or whatever, without any farming,
With the bunker destroyed, you can access the door to the
this is one of the shortest bunker fights. I don't want to say out there, because I've seen people kill it in like, you know, a couple of seconds with the right gear and max level and everything. But given the fact that I'm not, given the, you know, lack of preparation and everything, you gotta admit, this was pretty freaking badass, right? I mean... Holy! Was that good or was that good, huh? Alright, lovely. Open the security door, steal the vault Yeah. Is this still stuff? There is still stuff coming out of him. Well, let's also kill the last few remaining dots. Just to be a completionist about it, yeah? But, like, my oh my, right? That was pretty amazing. Okay, there you go. Tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching the stream. I'm going to leave it here. And I'm going to go... probably lie down for a little bit, because I don't feel all that well. And I feel like I'm spent. This is all I had in me. But it's been fun. It's been fun streaming this. It's been fun. Generally, I always have a great amount of fun with this game. But yeah, streams are fun. I like this. I like this. It's relaxed. I don't need to prepare much. It's entertaining to, for the most part, talk to yourself for hours on end. It's what it is. Let's be honest. But yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all some other time. If you have any questions, any suggestions about the streams or whatever, feel free to drop them either in the comments below this VOD or, you know, message me wherever. Yeah. This was great. Thank you for your attention, and I'll see you all next time. Some video or another. Till then, bye-bye.